Their time of lording over us has come to an end. With lockdowns, riding over there in their beautiful, fancy private jets while lecturing us at the same time, sometimes while on the plane, that climate change is an existential threat. I'm going to talk about all of it. I'll probably never be invited back, but considering that I never wanted to go in the first place, we are not just going to take this country back. We're taking back common sense for the world.
Yes, welcome back. Republican proposed bill to prohibit U.S. from funding the World Economic Forum. According to this article, several House Republicans are pushing a measure that will bar the U.S. from funding the World Economic Forum. No funds available to the Department of State, the United States Agency for International Development, or any other department or agency may be used to provide funding for the World Economic Forum. The briefly worded bills declare. This should clearly tells you people are tired. Imagine people you didn't elect giving a contribution to everything that is happening to the world. If you saw the beginning of this video, before going to this place, he knows very well they will never call him up because they hate people that go contrary to their own ideas.
Also not entitled to an opinion.
Disinformation is a security threat. And maybe not many noticed, but it was part of the Russian military doctrine that they will start information war. And we are in it now. And disinformation is a very powerful tool. We are focusing on improving of the system where the people will get the facts right. We don't speak about opinions. We are not correcting anyone's opinions or language. Yeah, this is about the facts.
Oh, the old CIA Jedi mind trick. Label everything that gets in your way, like Trump or the truth, as Russia disinformation.
You might be thinking that is all. They went to count how many times Trump spread misinformation. And care should be taken, into people like this. Reasons they are world leaders to take up decisions, to look deep into people like Trump. Take a look at this video.
It's been well written about. He had over 30,000 false or misleading claims in his 4 years as a president. If that comes from the top, is that part of the issue and the problem as well, Naomi?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's one of the reasons this issue has become so vexed in the United States, because now ordinary people are getting a lot of disinformation in social media, much of which is coming from private sector interests, but then it gets amplified when it gets reposted and resent by ordinary people who think, oh, this is interesting, I'll pass this on. But then it's also being amplified at the top. And this is one reason why I'm glad we're here talking about this at the World Economic Forum, because I think the business community has a big role to play in challenging this. Because one of the things we've seen in the United States is we have a small sector of what I'll call bad actor private sector agents, and we know who they are, who are responsible for the vast majority of disinformation. And the rest of the private sector is just sitting on the sidelines. And they're just not saying anything, and they're biting their tongue because, well, maybe they liked President Trump for other reasons because he cut corporate taxes. And so I think the private sector has largely stood by and allowed a lot of really damaging things to happen, things that in the long run will not be good for liberal democratic capitalism. And so I really hope that the World Economic Forum will take this issue on board and think harder about the role that the private sector can play in standing up against disinformation, even if they might like the fact.
The problem is not just to say you.
Yes, this reminded me watching the Wall Street Journal CEO at the World Economic Forum. She made it clear that they own the news. They own the news. So when your ideas are too extreme, they take maximum measures, to counteract that. They are extremely happy the way Google has improved, suppressing some of these, low quality content. That is what they are all about. To me, it's concerning. You might be asking yourself, like, why I don't see this news article? I usually read people like this advocate for it.
I'll be candid here because I think I've been invited here to be candid. Elites tell us that open borders and even illegal immigration are okay. The average person tells us in the United States that both rob them of the American way of life. Elites also tell us that public safety isn't a problem in big American cities. Just travel to New York or Washington or Dallas, Texas. The average person will tell you that the lack of public safety damages not just the American way of life, but their life. Elites tell us that we have this existential crisis with...
If you saw the beginning of this video, before going to this place, he knows very well they will never call him up because they hate people that go contrary to their own ideas, which is bad. If you have a place like this, be able to allow people who you disagree with. That is what makes an organization. Not other people that align with you should allow. Because when you look through, majority of the people attending the World Economic Forum are people that go along with them. Inviting people like Argentina president, this man was something I never expected because we knew exactly that they would go contrary to them. Talking about the US border, that is a serious problem, but the World Economic Forum, the way they look at this, is actually different. It is like you should allow people to enter. They don't have any problem with that. So you now see why people are suddenly realizing that these are the problem. Yes, because if you are not a problem, you cannot be looking at things the way you do.
President Kevin Roberts. Kevin, great to see you.
Thanks for having me. Their guns and actually impeach him because that's what the American people are looking for.
But what does that mean when it gets to the Senate? Doesn't it die?
It does. But one thing that Republicans might want to keep in mind today on the issue of the border, on the issue of spending, is that they have the political will at their backs. And it's about time, speaking on behalf of millions of Americans, that Republicans spend some of that political capital. Chairman Green is exceedingly articulate on this issue. They need to sort of turn the tables on Chuck Schumer.
You know, you had the World Economic Forum in Davos just playing out in the last week or so, right? Yeah. That old world vision is rearing its head again that says the people cannot be trusted to self-govern. They'll ruin themselves, right?